Hi and welcome to Vinyasa. In this class, I will recommend you to have a blanket or something else soft that you can use that is more supportive than your mat, and a block or something similar. It is not necessary, but I will be cueing these two props at some point in the class. So if you have anything that can mimic what I have, go and grab it. We are working our way to an inversion, a headstand. So see how you go, or just sit it out all together, up to you. But we are gonna start on our backs. So come to lay down on your mat. Stretch your arms long, stretch your legs long. Take a deep breath in. And with the exhale, just let your body melt onto your mat and release. Have a few breaths here. Close the eyes and just find your body on the floor for a moment. Take some deeper breaths. Maybe a quick body scan just to see where you're at, which energy you brought with you into the class, onto the mat. Becoming aware of what you have to work with, without the need to change it. And then when you're ready, you can hug your right knee into the chest, give it a good squeeze, and then turn it out to the side. Bring the knee towards the right shoulder, and then bring it back towards the left shoulder, and then just do that a few times. Opening the knee and closing the knee. Turning out, turning in. One more time. And then bring the knee across the body for a supine twist. Shuffle the hips towards the right. Let the knee fall down on one side and the shoulder fall down on the other side. And then coming back to center, bring the hips back to the middle and then hug your left knee to your chest. And again, let's just move the knee from side to side, turning the knee out. And then bringing it across slightly towards the right shoulder, out to the left, and over to the right. 2 more times. And from here, crossing the left knee all the way over, moving the hips slightly to the left so that you can really stack one hip on top of the other. Taking a few breaths here. And allow the breaths to be a little bit deeper than normal, a little bit slower than normal. And then come back to center, move the hips to the middle, hug both knees to the chest here, and then we're going to activate the core. So I want you to lift the belly button up and in as if you're pushing your belly button into the floor. And I want you to feel how the middle back now is pushed into the floor and the lower back is curved off. So there's a lot of core engagement happening here. And then reach the arms straight up to the sky. Bring the legs into a 90-degree angle. Now the lower back should be glued to the floor, so there is no space between your mat and your spine. You're going to stretch the the left leg long and reach the right arm overhead. Hover the left leg, hover the right arm, and then pull it back in. If the straight leg is too difficult, you can just tap your toe to the floor instead. Go to the other side, so left arm, right leg, and bring it up. And again, on the diagonal, and up. Make sure your lower back does not lift off the floor. Stretch, and come in. If you find yourself arching in this motion, then don't bring the legs so far down to the floor. Keep it a little bit higher up off the floor. Keep going with this movement, strengthening the core. Two more times on each side. Keep pushing the belly button into the floor. Glue your spine down. One more. And release. Hug the knees to your chest. Grab behind the knees. Curl yourself up into a little ball and start to rock and roll up and down the spine. On the count of 3, we'll land in a boat pose. And 1, 2, and coming up, hold your boat, stretch your back. Maybe you can reach your arms forward. And we go back into our rock and roll and come straight back up to this position. Back we go, back and up, hold. And again, back, rock and roll, up and hold. So you have to curve the spine when you go back and stretch the spine when you come up. Maybe you can do it with your arms off the legs. Here we go. Rolling back, sitting up tall. 2 more times. Back and up. Last one. Up and hold for 5. Maybe you want to stretch your legs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross. Come onto your hands and knees. Move yourself where you want to be on your mat. For some cat-cows, with the inhale, arch the back, lift the chest, and exhale, curve the spine, drop the chin. Breath in, and breath out. Maybe close the eyes, just feel the movements in the body. Breathing in, and breathing out. We're going to continue with these movements, but put your elbows down on the floor here. Hug the elbows in so they are no wider than shoulder width apart. So we don't want them to splay out. Plant the hands flat on the floor and then come into your cow pose, arch the spine. And cat pose, curve the spine. Breathing in to look forward. And exhale. So the movement might be a little bit smaller or more restricted here, but we are involving the shoulders a lot more. One more. Breath in, look forward. And out to curve. Come to a neutral spine. Hug the elbows in again. Step your feet back to a forearm plank. Make sure the hips lowers in line with the shoulders. We're just going to hold here. Give the floor a bit of a push with your elbows so you're not sinking in between the shoulder blades. And we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk the feet up into a dolphin, toes towards the elbows. And then push the hands and elbows into the floor and forwards so that you can reach the belly and the chest towards your thighs. So it's a downward dog, but with the elbows on the floor. Drop the head, look at your feet. And really try to push the chest through the shoulders towards the legs. There's quite a lot of work happening in the shoulders here. And our first little challenge is going to be to lift both of the elbows off the floor at the same time. So you really have to push into the palms of the hands. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, push. Find your downward dog. Ooh, that feels nice. Have a few breaths here. Let the top of the head hang heavy. And then let's lift the heels, walk towards the hands. Find your ragdoll for a moment. Grab your elbows and sway from side to side. Drop the hands down, bend the knees and sort of roll up slowly, one vertebra at a time. And then reach the hands up to the sky, deep breath in. Hands to heart, center. We're going to work a little bit with this alignment today. So I want you to think of your lowest ribs and your hip bones coming together. So we're not splaying out the ribs here, opening up in the front body, but we want to keep it contained. So the lower back is long, our ribs are closed, and our belly is lifted. Keep all of that engagement as you lift the arms to the sky. Take a breath in. And then bend the knees to fold forwards. Exhale. Find your halfway lift. Deep breath in. Same alignment in the torso here. And then step back to a high plank. Holding here for just a moment. Finding that engagement in the front body. Spreading the shoulder blades apart. And lengthening through the crown of the head. So we're not looking forwards. We're not dropping the head down. But finding a straight body from the heels to the crown. And from here, let's come forward. The knees might want to drop down as you hug the elbows in and lower really slowly to the floor. Find your cobra, breath in. Bring the hands to your forehead as you exhale. Take an inhale here. Reach the right arm towards the right. Look at your knee and try to touch your knee with your hand. And come back. Go to the left. And back. To the right. And back. To the left. Inhale through center. Exhale to tap your knee. Inhale through center. Exhale, tap your knee. Inhale through center and then fold forwards. Cobra again, breath in. Downward facing dog, hips to heels. Lift them up to the sky. 2 deep breaths here. And lift the heels, look forward. Make your way to the top of your mat. Find your halfway lift. And your fold. Coming up to stand, keeping the front body switched on, breath in. Hands to heart. Center, that is our flow. Let's do it again. Breath in, keep the ribs in, lengthen the spine. And then fold as you exhale. Halfway lift. Step back into a high plank. Find your inhale here as you reach the shoulders forward, fold forward. You can drop the knees down, lower your body in one piece to the mat. Breath in, lift for cobra. Exhale, hands to your forehead. Inhale as you stay here. Exhale, right hand touches right knee. And back. Exhale to the left. And back. Just one more time each side. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Coming down. Cobra. And downward facing dog. Breath out. One breath in here. Exhale fully. Lift the heels. Look to your hands. Step top of the mat. Find your halfway lift as you breathe in. And then fold. Drop the head. All the way up to stand. Close the front body. Reach the hands long. And then we fold straight back down for our last round. Halfway lift. High to low plank. So come straight forward and down here. Drop the whole body to the floor. Breath in. Lift the hands. Exhale to tap your right knee. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. One more time. And in and out. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Breath in for cobra. And downward facing dog. One full breath here. Exhale fully. Lift the heels, look forward. Top of the mat. Find your halfway lift. And fold. All the way up to stand, reach the hands. Hands to heart center. We're going to change up the flow a little bit, but I want you to imagine that you have a box in between your hands, so the fingertips are all together. And right in front of your shoulders, you're holding a box. So you have to activate your shoulders, you have to activate your chest. And now that we're lifting this box over our heads, make sure that you are not opening up the front body. So as we lift the box, our ribs comes down. Ribs comes down. So we're activating the core, belly button to spine. Now we sit down in our chair pose. Yay! Hold here. Weight is in your heels. And that box you have in between your hands, see if you can squeeze it a bit harder and lift it right above your head. So working in the back of the shoulders. Straight alignment with the torso, thinking length, not depth. Take 2 more deep breaths here. 1. And 2. And fold. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Stepping or jumping through your chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Now from our up dog here or your cobra, make sure the thighs are off the floor if you're doing up dog. We're going to tuck our toes and come back to our chaturanga. Back down, push up, knees can come down, downward facing dog. Breathe here. So we did a double chaturanga because chaturangas are too easy, so why not? Catch your breath here for a moment. And then we're going to lift the right leg to the sky. Keep the hips nice and square. Bring the knee to your nose. Really target curl it up. So lift your hips as high as you can. Lift the heel of your left leg and see if that right knee can touch your nose before it steps through to a warrior one. So what I like to do here is to hop my back leg out wider so that I have my feet on train tracks. That way I can pull my right hip back and my left hip forward to find those square hips to the front of the room. Now we're grabbing our box again here, bringing it above our heads without arching the spine, as if there's a zipper going up from your pubic bone and up to your sternum. We want to close that part. And then just calm down your focus, your breath and your body here. Let's take one more deep breath. See if you can lengthen the crown of the head up. Open into your warrior 2. The front leg might do a little dance inwards to align with the back foot. And then come a little bit deeper into your warrior 2. Two more breaths here. Exhale, come a bit lower, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, deep breath in. Hands to the floor, moving through your chaturanga. You might want to hover the right leg off. Do a little chin tap to the front of the mat, and then move into your upward dog. Come into your downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. So as you do that chin tap, if you're doing the chin tap, you have to move your shoulders far up over your fingers so that the chin tap can happen off your mat. That's what we're aiming for. Now with your inhale, lift the left leg up, keep the hips square. Tiger curl the knee in, lift the heel of the right foot high up. Keep the hips high, tap your nose. Step the left leg forward. To come into your warrior one, hop your right leg out, keeping the hips facing the front. Okay, hug your box, hug your ribs, and then bring the arms back, bending that front knee. Slow breaths. Two more here. Last one, lengthen the torso. And then open the legs. So do a little dance with that left foot to align it with the right. Open the shoulders and the hips. Maybe you find you can come a little bit lower than what you did in your warrior one. And then holding here. Take two more breaths. And exhale to come a bit lower, flip your front palm. Let's reverse, deep breath in. Chaturanga, hands down. Left leg back, maybe it hovers up. As you come forward to tap the chin off your mat. Move through your up dog. And your downward facing dog. Have two deep breaths here. One. And two. Lift the heels, look at your hands. Let's step or jump to the top. Find your halfway lift. And a fold. Coming up to stand, hands to the sky. And then hands to heart. Center, let's flow through that once. Chair pose, inhale. Zip up your front body. Lift that box over your head. And fold. Halfway lift. Step or jump back, chaturanga. Remember, we have a double chaturanga here. Up dog or cobra. Back to your chaturanga. Push up in a straight line. And then downward facing dog. Right leg up, inhale. Knee to your nose, tuck it up, 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 up. And step. Warrior one, breath in. Warrior two, exhale, come a bit lower. Reverse. Inhale. Chaturanga, moving through. Maybe the right leg hovers and your chin taps. Up dog. And downward dog. One more time, left leg up. Tiger curl it forwards. Step, hop your back leg out. Find your warrior one. Dance your front leg in. Find your warrior two. Reverse. Hands to the floor. And moving through. Find your downward dog. Pause here for 5 breaths in stillness. Catch your breath. Of course, child's pose is also welcome here. If you want a deeper rest, you can drop the knees, reach the arms forward and drop the head. Otherwise, your active rest is downward facing dog. If you're not in down dog, make your way there. Shift the hips to the sky. And then again, right leg up, keeping the hips square. Exhale to tiger curl the knee forward to step. This is where you're going to need your block, if you have one. If not, this can all be done without it too. So, the block is going to go in between the hands just like we have practiced from before. Fingertips are together and they're just hugging the block like this. Now, without splaying the ribs open, we're going to do that zipper again. So ribs and hip bones close, ribs in. This block goes above the head. Without any movement happening in the torso, hug the elbows in next to your ears and then bend your elbows so the block touches the back of your neck. And then stretch it up. This can also be done with the hands in a prayer position if you don't have your block. And then bend it back. And stretch it up. Bend it back. Stretch it up 2 more times. Hug the elbows in and in. Stretch it up. Bend it back. And stretch it up. Whew. I don't know about you, but that's really hard for my shoulders to do. And this next section is not going to get any easier, but I want you to stay with me because it is not going to drag on forever, I promise you. Hug that block between your hands, come into your arrowhead. Move into your right leg, find your warrior 3. Keep the arms forward. We are here for 5, 4. Lift the back leg, 3, 2, 1. Grab the block with your right hand, open up into your half moon. So now the block goes underneath your shoulder on the right side. The rest of your body opens up sideways. If you don't have your block, you can bend your standing leg and put the hand on the floor. Now expand your body in all directions, upwards, downwards, sideways. If you do have your hand on the block, see if you can, instead of gripping your block, just gently place your right hand on top. Maybe you can even get really light on your hand and hover it off your block. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Land in your warrior 2. Bend your standing leg. Find your warrior 2. Whew. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, chaturanga as normal. Upward dog. And downward dog. We are at the other side. Last one. Good thing we only have 2 sides. Let's do it. Left leg up. Breath in. Tiger curl it to your nose. Step it forwards. Grab your block. Hug it in between your hands. Zip up your torso. And then this box, or this block, goes right above your head. Now the most difficult part here, at least I think, is to keep the elbows hugging it so we're not bending the block back and the elbows splaying out. So the elbows wants to stay close to the ears. Okay, here we go. Hug the block, bend the elbows. And stretch. And bend. And stretch. And bend. Can you think of your core here as well? Keep your belly button in. 2 more. Last one. Okay, we're moving on. Arrowhead, come forward. Weight into your left leg. Find your warrior 3, 5, 4, 3. Lift the arms, lift the leg. 2, 1. Grab the block with your left hand. Open it up for your half moon. Maybe you can gaze sideways as well. So think about the body expanding everywhere here. Lifting that right leg up. Trying to get it parallel with the floor. Open the shoulders. And then maybe you can stop gripping your block and just resting the hand with the fingers together. Maybe you can get really light on the block and hover the hand off. We are here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your standing leg. Warrior 2 is next. Gently land and reverse. Breath in. Chaturanga, or just find your downward dog if you've had enough of the chaturangas. And downward dog. Oh, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth, open the mouth. 2 more times, in the nose. Out the mouth. And last one. Okay, ripple forward for your high plank. And then just drop the knees to the mat and sit on your heels. Whew. Welcome down. We are going to stay down on the mat, but we're moving into our peak pose. So grab your blanket or whatever you have that is a little bit softer, so that you can put the top of your head there without it being very painful for you. We're going to go through a step-by-step tripod headstand. And I just want you to know there is no right or wrong way of doing the steps in terms of how far you go. So I'm going to go through 5 different stages, and I want you to stop where you feel like, oh, this is challenging, but I'm not scared. I don't feel unsafe. I don't feel like I'm going to fall and hurt myself. So that's where I want you to stop. If you're like, well, this was easy, then I want you to go into the next step. So if you want to just watch me first, or you can come along as I go, but I'm going to do it twice. So I can demonstrate once, and then we can do it together once. So the hands are going to go fingers spread wide, jazz hands onto the floor, crown of the head in front. So there's a triangle here. We are not in a straight line. We're in a triangle. Elbows are hugging in. Step 1 is just tucking the toes and lifting the hips. This is also a headstand. You are standing on the hips. No, sorry. You're standing on your head and your hips are higher than your heart. So you are definitely inverted here. This might be where you stop. Otherwise, you can walk the toes in towards the hands. Keep lifting the hips over the shoulders. Step 2 is knees to elbows. Now I have to push into my hands a bit more to be here. Toes to touch. See if you can find a stability here. To be able to find a balance here, your elbows have to hug inwards, not go all spaghetti outwards. Step 3 is to lift the knees off the elbows. I have to use a lot of core to do that, but also I have to do a little hip tilt so that my hips are right over my shoulders. And then if that's okay, you can open the knees to stretch out the hip flexors, but with the weight a little bit more distributed than if your knees are in a tuck. And then the last step is to stretch the legs all the way up to the sky, finding a straight line. To come out, just bend the knees, bring the knees into your chest, and then land softly if you can. So if you want a wall for this, go grab a wall. Otherwise, if you feel like you're going to fall, then you might have gone a little bit too far. I want you to feel pretty safe in the version or the step that you choose. So if you didn't do it, come with me now. If you have done it, you can do another one. So, hands in front of your blanket, head on top. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. This might be where you stay. Maybe you can walk the toes a bit closer to your hands, lifting the hips higher. Keep the elbows in, bring the knees on your triceps, toes to touch. Staying here might be for you, or lifting the knees off the elbows. Maybe you want to open the knees out into a frog position, or maybe you want to straighten the legs all the way up. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, bring them to the chest, and land safely on your mat. Roll up to sit. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Close the eyes. And just breathe here for a moment. Now see if the crown of the head can float a bit upwards now that the pressure is off. And then open the eyes if they were still closed. Come up to stand on your knees. So we're going to move into a camel. So if you now want your blanket underneath your knees, that might be a good option here. Bring the hands to the back of your hips. Roll the shoulders back and down. Open up in the chest. Gently push the hips forwards. You might stay here, or maybe you want to tuck the toes and reach the heels. If you are reaching for the heels, you might be able to push the hips forward a little bit more. And then a few breaths here. And then coming up, hands to your hips, hips to your heels. Let's have another seat. Close the eyes. Let the hands rest on your thighs. And then one more, come up onto your knees. Bring the hands to your hips, lift the chest. If you felt like it was okay with the toes tucked, you might be able to keep the toes pointed as you go back again. And reach for your heels. Now you can stay here, or you can reach your right arm up and over your head, dropping the head back. And coming down with the right arm, stay here as you do that same with your left. And coming back with your left, bring the hands to your hips, coming up. Now we can take closed knee, child's pose. So bring the knees all the way together. Drop the arms back and forehead to the floor. And slowly rolling back up to seated. Just swing the legs around. We're going to come into a hip stretch, so you can bring your feet into your butterfly position. And you choose if the feet wants to be far away or if they want to be really close. But we want to encourage the knees down. So the way I like to do that is to hold my feet. Maybe I'll turn this way so you can see. Hold my feet and then gently push my elbows into my calves so that the knees can drop out a bit more. Opening the soles of the feet like a book. And then chest forwards, try to lengthen the spine before you fold. So we're folding here with a straight back first. So the aim is to get the chest towards the feet, not the top of the head. Keep pushing the elbows down, bringing the knees, or encouraging the knees closer to the floor. If you do want to curve the back and drop the head down, now you can do that. Maybe you want to reach the arms forward. Closing the eyes if you haven't done that already. And slowly coming back up from there, stretch the legs out in front of you. Lean back into your hands and give your legs a little bit of a shake. We're moving down into Savasana here, so get yourself comfortable on your back. Bring the shoulder blades together, palms to face up, feet to drop out. And then tuning into the breath, nice and gently. As you allow yourself to be here for the next couple of minutes, think of this position as just as important, or maybe even more important, than everything else you have done so far in the class. This is where your body gets to process the practice, and the practice gets to land in the body. Allow yourself to relax here. Take your last 2 deeper breaths here, filling up that space under the belly button. And slowly letting the breath come out. One more like that. Then you can start to make little movements into your fingers and your toes, your ankles and your wrists. Take a breath in as you reach the arms up and overhead. And exhale to hug the knees to the chest. Give yourself a warm, loving hug, as if you are someone that you really deeply care for, someone that you wish all the best things in the world for, and someone you love dearly. And just hug your knees as if this is your person, the most important person in your life. Then you can come up to a seat however you want to. Make your way there. Crossing the legs, bringing the hands to heart center, closing the eyes. And then bowing the head to the fingertips in gratitude to ourselves, to the practice, and to each other. Namaste.